Paulo. You have your flag up behind you, your New Zealand flag.
I have the New Zealand flagger.
So, yes, the last time we spoke, I don't think you had it up yet, but you are prepared for your trip.
Yes, I'm prepared. It's good.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Wow. All right. Well, hey, I'm so glad that you're back so soon. It's great to see you as always.
Oh, thank. It's always good to see you too. And I'm going to New Zealand next week, so I think in 6 days. Oh, I'm going to New Zealand in 6 days.
Wow. Ah, yes, yes. Oh man. I even just me, you're making me get excited over here. I'm not even going to New Zealand, but I'm starting to feel excited.
Ah, yeah, yeah. I'm excited too. And yeah, if you could go to wherever you want, what place do you
Yes.
choose?
Yes, very good. So if I could go wherever I want, what place would I choose? You know, okay. Honestly, the first place that comes to my mind is Ghana in West Africa.
Mm.
That's really because that's where my husband's people are from. They're from Ghana. My husband is first generation Canadian, and he and I have been married for 10 years. It will be 10 years, the 24th of this month. So yay, 10th
Ah,
anniversary! um, and I would really love to go to Ghana with him and meet his relatives that are still there.
mm.
Mhm.
Oh, awesome, Ghana. And I think it's good. I because my families were from Japan, and I have this dream to
Ah,
go to visit Japan one day because of my family. I think we have to, visit where our family is came from, right?
yeah, exactly. I agree with you. Yeah, we need to understand where our family comes from. I think it's important to understand our personal history.
Yes, yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
I,
Definitely, Paolo. And so, yeah, I didn't realize that your family is from Japan. Um, do you know how many generations? Like, were your parents from Japan? Your grandparents or beyond them were from Japan?
no, my grandparents actually, my grandparents. And did you have you ever noticed that I'm Japanese? I look like a
Actually,
Japanese.
so so to be honest, I I I felt like you looked a little different than some of the people that I've met in Brazil, but I didn't know why that was. I just thought, oh, I guess that's just how Paulo looks.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. My grandparents from my dad, from my
Ah,
mom are were from Japan, you know.
okay, okay. Oh, so let me double check. So your grandparents on your dad's side or your grandparents on your mother's side?
Oh, they both sides
Oh, both sides were from Japan.
were from Japan. Yes.
Oh, okay. So then how did they end up making their way to Brazil? How did that happen?
Oh, it was before the Second World War, before like the 30s, they came here, because of the war,
Okay, I
and
see.
they thought that Brazil was like an amazing country. I don't know why in Japan there was like a humor, right? A humor like, oh, Brazil is the best place ever. You need to go there,
Oh, there
right?
was a rumor. Yes.
Yes, and they didn't know how to speak English. They didn't know anything about Brazil, so they just believed it what they listen, you know. And it
Yes.
wasn't like this in Brazil. It was terrible here.
Oh.
They needed
Oh.
to work like they were like slaves here, you know.
Oh, wow. Wow, Paulo. Um, may I ask you a question? Is there is there is there an extensive history of people from Japan going to Brazil because of the war? Do you have like a, is that a part of Brazilian history?
Yes, yes, it is. They came here in São Paulo, you know. I don't know if they went like in other states of Brazil. In São Paulo, it's common, and we have a kind of big community, you know, Japanese community here, and we have a neighborhood in São Paulo that is from, you know, the Japanese, Chinese, Koreans, you know, and
Really?
yes, we have some neighborhoods, you know, but it was common at that time.
Wow, I never knew this. See, this is why I love talking to people from other countries because I learn
Mhm.
history that I never knew about. And so the experience of the Japanese who immigrated to Brazil, it was a negative experience, at least initially. You said they were treated like slaves. Um,
Mhm.
Wow, which I think that's often something that I hear about people who immigrate to other countries. Oftentimes, there's prejudice and discrimination that they have to overcome.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know how, but my grandparents could like run to the their boss, you know. I don't like escape, you know. They could escape,
Oh, oh,
and
okay,
they started. Yes, they started their own business. You know, my grandparents was like they make clothes. You know, they made
oh, okay.
clothes and
Mhm,
they started to sell. I don't know exactly how they could sell because they couldn't speak Portuguese. You know, I don't know exactly,
mhm.
but they couldn't do this, and they created a company. You know, and
Yes.
it was a successful story. You know.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Paulo, I there are so many thoughts going through my mind right now. So, okay, let me start from what you said.
Hmm.
So, your grandparents were able to escape from their boss,
Hmm.
the person they were working for.
Uh-huh,
So they
yes.
they left and they were somehow able to start their own business.
Hmm. Yes.
Wow. There is something I'm learning about our grandparents, Paolo, and that is that our grandparents were very resourceful. And that's one of the reasons why they deserve so much of our respect because the privileges that we have today came from their blood, sweat, and tears and their hard labor.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think in the same way actually, because my grandparents, the side of my dad, you know, they had 12 children, 12. So
Wow.
it was a hard time, and you know, they could you know, like buy the food. They could no, my parents didn't have a problem with food, with money. They
Mhm.
could provide them, you know. And
Right.
it's beautiful, you know, because
Right.
they they couldn't speak Portuguese, and
Mhm.
they I don't know, they were really smart, you know.
Yes, yeah, definitely. So, um, were you able to talk with your grandparents and hear any of their stories about what things were like for them when they came to Brazil? Did were you able to learn much? Is there still a way for you to learn anything about their experiences, maybe from your parents?
You know, my parents told me some stories about them, but they are not alive anymore. No.
Yeah.
And the problem is that my grandparents couldn't speak Portuguese even when they were old. No, they just
Okay.
some words. And my
Mhm.
parents and my uncles didn't speak good Japanese. You know,
Wow.
they speak a little bit. I don't know how they could communicate with them,
Yes.
but it was really difficult. So, like my uncles and my father speak just Portuguese and a few words in Japanese. So I think my grandparents couldn't tell their stories, but they could educate just educate
Mhm,
my
mhm.
parents, you know.
Yes, yes. Well, a thought that just came to my mind is that, excuse me, is that care and love, that goes beyond language, right? We can care for each other, we
Mhm.
can show love, even if we don't speak the same language. So it sounds like your grandparents um, were able to provide love and care to their children despite the language barrier. Um, but we don't have much time to talk about this, but there is so much implications in what you're saying. Um, Something that I find interesting, I haven't studied much into it, but is the language barrier between parents and their children, particularly if the parents immigrated from from one country, excuse me, to another country, and the parents speak the native language from their country, but the children grow up learning the language in the country where they're living. And that sometimes causes a language barrier, which can sometimes cause friction. Um, I don't know if your family experienced any of that, but as I said already, whatever friction was caused, your grandparents were still able to transcend those barriers because of their actions.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, I know that was a lot that I just said.
Mhm.
So do you
No,
have any questions about what I said, or was everything clear?
no, it was everything clear about the barrier, about the language, and what is important is the love, right?
Yes,
The love.
yes, yeah. What an interesting history you have. If you ever get the thought to do this, I think it would be so interesting for you to, whatever you do know, for you to write it down, because I mean, that's just an amazing story. I don't think a lot of people know their history and what their family members before them had to go through.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and the problem of my family, is that Japanese are aren't really good talkers, don't know
Oh,
how
okay.
to talk very well. So I have a lot of uncles, aunts, and cousins, but they are shy,
I
so
understand.
it's
Yeah.
hard to interact with them, and my father is my mom is the same. They don't like to tell some stories about their lives, but I know some parts of this story. I don't know the whole story.
Got it. I understand. Thank you for saying that. That's true. Some cultures are more reserved than other cultures.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. Um, I recently told my husband that I'm falling in love with the people of Brazil because all of my students that I've met from Brazil are they're so open and warm and talkative, just very genuinely friendly and open people. And I told Philip, I said, I think I would love it in Brazil if my students are a representation of what the Brazilian people are like.
Ah, yes. I think Brazil is a are friendly people, Brazilians. I like the people here because you can know if you go to Brazil, you probably will make a lot of friends here. You will be really easy, In the
Uh,
first day, you will be best friends of them, It's easy
that
to
sounds nice.
make friends here.
Yes, yeah. Well, great, Paulo. What a wonderful conversation. Thank you for sharing your history with me. Our time is almost up, just a little over 30 seconds. I think I may be seeing you next week, which would be awesome.
Yes, yes, I hope so. Because I will be on Cambly. I think until March, because I bought the
Okay.
plan here 1 year, so I will be here.
Okay, okay, great. If
Eh,
I don't talk to you before you go to New Zealand, then I'm praying traveling mercies for you, and I hope you have an awesome time.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you'll be awesome. I'm really excited about my trip, and I will share with you some pictures. Okay, I can show you the next time. Okay, some
Yes, please.
pictures, some new stories.
See you. All
Okay,
right, sounds good. Thanks. See you later.
see you later. Bye.